How in the blue hell is it Sunday night already? Time's going fast, but it's a good thing. It's a good thing because that means it's episode 13 of Weekly Comic Wrap Up, and we've got a very, very special guest tonight. I'm pumped. We haven't seen him in a little while. A little while. It's been a minute, but he's ready. We were talking backstage. Man's pumped. The man's pumped, man. Before we bring him in, guys, I just want to fill you in on a little couple things that are going to be going on with the channel, upcoming guests, and so forth. So, first and foremost, next Sunday, episode 14. That's right. We got Matt DeVoe coming from Cover Price. That's right. Cover Price is going to be here, so we're going to be talking some books, the hot topics, all the fun stuff. So definitely do not miss next Sunday. But I do want to warn everybody. The following Sunday, that's right, Labor Day weekend. Everybody's on vacation. That means me too. Yep, I'm going to be away. So September 3rd, no show. No show. Maybe I'll put out some kind of pre-record. We'll see. But the Sunday after that. So we're coming at you September 10th. We've got Comics with Bueller, who's going to be hopping on. So we're going to be hanging out. If I'm on vacation, you know that man's on vacation. He's been in his truck touring, doing his thing. So definitely come check out the show September 10th with Comics with Bueller. So enough about me. And hey, quick shout out, Flat Bathtub. If you guys aren't already, go check out Flat Bathtub on Instagram. It's my boy Philip. It's his birthday today, so happy birthday to him. Man's crushing it with art. He's a sick artist. He's been featured on so many things already. Comic books, even Dead by Daylight. So just a quick shout out. But all right, enough about everybody else. Man of the hour. That's right. Literally the hour, because we try to keep the show an hour. But guys, none other than Matt Forge from Pressable Defects. How's it going, bro?
I'm good, Carlo. What's up, brother?
Oh,
Appreciate you having me on. Now my dog's barking because the show started. He's excited. I'm excited to be here. Sunday night. Let's do it. And you know what? I didn't realize it was number 13, and a lot of people think 13's unlucky, but for me and you, Carlo, that's a lot of luck, right? In our background. Number 13, lucky number 13. Let's do the show right. I'm pumped. I told Carlo I got some nice nuggets to drop on the people in the chat. So it's gonna be a good night. It's gonna be a good night.
That's facts. In fact, yes, Paisanos 13 is this. It's just how we roll. It's lucky for us. It's not unlucky, but yeah, man. You were telling me backstage you got some spec books you want to talk about too. So that's pretty fun. That's pretty fun.
Listen, we did a lot of that in the past, right? So it's been a little while since we've done we sprinkle in here and there, but I said, you know what? It's time to get back to that. So what better place to do that than here? You know, you sent me some of the stuff we were going to be talking about. So turned on the speculators tinfoil, and I got a couple picks for the people.
I appreciate that, man. That's going to be fun to go through. But of course, before we get into any of that, you said, spec books, something you love, something you like talking about, kind of gives me that old school vibe when it comes to Pressable Defects. It's been a while, so give us some info, man. What's going on? Jay told us there's a comeback.
There is. So, we need a little time off. We had to get some stuff in order. We had, everybody's got personal lives, and a lot of people had stuff going on, and we had to straighten some stuff out on the channel, and we're gonna get back. We're coming back right after Labor Day. Going back to kind of the original format. Probably 1 or 2 recorded videos a week at first, and then probably the live shows. We'll get back into that slowly. We used to do 2 a month. We're probably gonna start with maybe 1 a month, maybe 2 recorded videos a week, and we're just gonna get back into a groove and that's it. Get back to our old ways. Do some new stuff, and then do some of the old stuff, and hopefully, everybody and get at a pace that we can follow and not get kind of too burnt out with our personal lives and YouTube, because it becomes it's a lot of work to do this. I mean, look how much prep work you did for today. And we were doing a ton of that. It was I was probably spending 30 hours a week. Just preparing, and that's like almost a second job, and you don't want it to become a job. So we wanted to scale it to a point where we could put out the content, but not burn ourselves out. So we're happy, the people are happy. So we're going to try to find that that perfect sweet spot. And I think we got it. I think we got it coming up, and we'll see in a few weeks.
Yo, I'm pumped. Everybody's pumped, that's for sure. But it's funny you actually touched on that, because something I love doing on the show is pulling back the curtain, man, letting the people know, especially the chat, right? A lot of work goes into this. Like you said, you and I were going back and forth within the week, sending slides like, hey, this
Yeah.
is what's up. I don't know about you, myself as a guest, I enjoy that, right? Like when I know what's going to be discussed.
Sure, sure.
Yeah, newbie, take note. No, I'm kidding.
He just kind of lets you, he throws you in the water, right? He lets you
Pretty
swim.
much. Pretty much. But yeah, man, it's a lot of work. So I totally get you guys, man. And of course, you guys always crush it. You do a phenomenal job. 30 hours definitely sounds like another job, but
Yeah.
you guys are crushing it. Especially you're doing whatnot sales too.
Yeah, we just started up with that. We're getting that going. It's a way to kind of fund the hobby. We always talk about that on the channel, and it's we got Gary's family to us, and he persuaded us to get over there. So we're teamed up with him. We did the YouTube stuff with him, the
Yeah.
YouTube auctions, which were legendary, and we wanted to try to bring that magic back. And he's over there right now. So for right now, that's where we're at. Down the road, who knows where we'll be? But right now, we're having fun on the whatnot stuff. We're doing it our way, right? People sometimes have a problem with that platform, but I say, listen, worry about the people, not the platform. We do it the right way. We make the people happy. We have our antics. We do the right thing, so that's it. We're trying to bring that same style that we had on YouTube over there, Tuesday nights. So
Yeah, dude, defects shows are always a fun time, a great time, but especially the chat. I love watching the chat. I'm always in that chat and I see everybody. And now, speaking chats, we're gonna actually shift over to this chat. Let's see if you see any familiar faces. All right,
I've
so let's
seen a
kick
lot
it
of
off.
them already.
Let's kick it off. But Michael Baker, always first, stepping up to bat in the chat. All I want to know is, did Matt Ford bring his super chats with him tonight, dude?
Those are exclusive, man. Those are exclusive to the channel.
Yes, sir. Especially the evil ones. Hopefully, one day I could reach that status. Maybe a Bella Danger or something.
There you go. Hey, listen, there's nothing wrong with that, man.
But yeah, man. No super chats. I think you guys have the best super chats.
I
But
appreciate you, brother.
moving on, we got Nasha Venom in the house. Appreciate you being here, bro. Means a lot. Another local Montreal boy. So represent. The Paisanos are out. Look at this. Look at this. We got
There we go.
Constantino. Yeah, out west in Canada, man. Bro, always a pleasure seeing you in the chat. Got Keys, my man from the Comic Kingpins, bro. Miss you. It's been a little while. Hopefully we see him back on the channel soon. But yeah, man, Dan De La Torre obviously crushing it all the time with Spine Ticks. So appreciate him being here. We got Hip, Hops, and me, Steve from Team Nerd Herd over on Nearing
What's up,
Nirvana's channel. If you guys aren't already, definitely go subscribe. I don't think I need to tell you that, but still go. Yesterday you guys dropped a great show, man, with the toy box stuff. Into those toys, man. Definitely go check it out. Steph's Comics, dude. I was supposed to meet up with this guy Friday night to sell him a slab. It was this one right here. I even have it. Okay, I didn't lose it. It's still here.
Oh, there you go.
It's still here. But this old fart fell asleep on the couch, bro. So yeah, that's what happened. Sorry, Steph. Who else we got here? We got Chia Pet in the house. Chia Pet, brother, greatly appreciate you coming to hang out tonight. Always supporting. And then there's this guy right here. We know
This guy.
You know, no show. Yeah. If you guys missed it, there was an inside joke on Newbie's channel that completely broke us. It broke us. We couldn't stop laughing for a solid minute. But yeah, definitely go check that one out. Newbie, bro, appreciate you. And I will see you Tuesday. Comic Nation US. Guys, I have some big information to share with you guys regarding Comic Nation very shortly when we go through FOC, but definitely appreciate them coming to hang out tonight. Matt, you know these guys in the chat.
I think that was me. Yeah, that was me. Sometimes I don't know who it is. Yeah, it's usually me when you see that name on YouTube.
Love it. But yeah, man, appreciate that support. We got Justin Shannon in the house saying, Manny, what's up? Justin Shannon, another person I've seen within the Pressable Defects chat. So appreciate you coming to hang out. The man, the myth, the legend, Lefteros Comics is in the house. Guys, don't need to tell you, but if you're not already, definitely go check him out on Instagram, dropping great information, always sharing some good FOC picks, which we will run through a new comic book day. Who else we got here? We got Marcel Bullock. So Maddie Defects. Yes, that's right, baby. In the house. Hyper Combo Comics. This man's crushing it. Dude, if you've not seen his Instagram lately, guy's fucking finding gems. I don't know where he finds these books. Hard to find, especially video game ones, right? Those. I know Jay likes those video game ones.
Yeah, he does. We got some. We got some about that coming up too. Actually, that's a good point. Good thing you reminded me. That's what I got to tell him tomorrow. Is he's got a little video game information he's gonna drop.
So look at this guy. Tell me if he looks familiar. If he doesn't look familiar, I'll tell you after the stream.
Okay.
he might have ties to that Canadian blonde guy with. There he is.
There he is.
But yeah, who else we got here? Yo, Paperweight Collectibles. This guy's crushing it too, man. Always supporting the Defects, always supporting myself, and he's a great friend. The guy's crushing it on the wrestling scene, in the indie scene as well. Puts out great content on Instagram, showing some pics of the week with his daughter. Definitely go check that shit out.
Absolutely.
It's always a good time. All right, hold on, we got some more. We got Ozzy in the house.
I was about to say, I see my man Oz. I see Oz.
Ozzy was there. Terrificon, which I know we will shed some light on, because I spoke to Jay before Terrificon, and I heard through IG some of the things that went on. I saw some stuff that went on.
I can give you some of the info, not all of it though.
I'm not surprised, but yeah, man. So Terrificon, like I said, I spoke to Jay prior. He was already hyping it up, making me feel even worse after the show, telling me, dude, you're missing a great time. But we will see you next year.
Next year, baby.
Tell us about
you better be there. Time. Listen, Terrificon is kind of our thing, right? That's Northeast. It's outside of I guess outside of New York, it's kind of the biggest show that we kind of, for us, we kind of think that's the next one below New York, and it's better than New York in the sense that we get to see people, meet people, go out after. Like, New York is a shit show, right? It's 100,000 people. It's crazy. I mean, it's just a crazy weekend. You could barely move. We may both be there and not see each other the whole day. And there's not, I mean, of course, New York City, you could do whatever you want after, but there's nothing like that casino where you're hanging out, you're going to eat, you're going to gamble, you're going to do this, you're going to do that. So that's one you got to be to. It's a lot of comics. It's the community, a lot of the Northeast communities there. Yeah. So it's a special show for us, and it's awesome to see the Canadians come down. It was awesome to see Swagahas, Mickey come over from California, hang out with us, blast meeting him. I don't know, man. I'll take that over. Basically, I'd take that over New York any day. And we're trying to make King Con just like Terrificon right now. That's kind of the blueprint for King Con. Greg's doing a great job at that. So, but as far as the after hours at Terrificon, man, Jay likes to live it up. Jay likes to live it up at the casino, and he definitely did this year. This might have been his swan song. You know what I mean? This might have been his swan song year.
Jeez. So he set the bar for next year, that's for sure.
Oh, but, man. I don't know. I think the bar has been maxed. I'm gonna be honest. After this year,
no. I'll be there next year, so we got to take it up again.
Let's do it. Yep.
But yeah, I saw videos of him on that scooter, which was hilarious. It was dying. There was
he took a ride on the scooter. He did a little karaoke.
Yes, there was that, and there was the what was that? The fighting there. I forget the name.
Rock'em Sock'em. Yeah.
Yeah, the Rock'em Sock'em, exactly. And he lost. He let the people down.
He did. He totally lost. I don't know what he was doing.
Yeah, man. So that was fun to see, and definitely, guys, Terrificon. And you spoke King Con too, so that's another one. Do we have a date already for the next one?
I think it's April. Shit, I should probably know this, right? It's in April. I don't know if I have it on my phone.
All right,
I'll tell you right now. Go ahead. I'll look it up real quick. Go ahead.
At least we know it's going to be in April, so that's good. 2024. We're going to expect a King Con. And that takes place in Jersey, right?
Yep, April 6th. It's in North Jersey, right on the New York border. Bigger and better than last year.
Yeah.
Greg's got some really good things in the works. So
yeah, it's
one that it really has grown exponentially. It's amazing. So great job for Greg, and it's a great thing for the community, So I really I hope to get some of the Canadian guys down for that one at some point, because there's going to be some good stuff coming up. If it's not this year, next year, it's going to mimic some of these larger shows for sure. So we're
Jersey's
getting there.
Jersey's doable for me, man. Especially, dude, I spent most of my younger years every summer on Seaside Boardwalk.
There you
And
go.
then Jersey Shore came about, the TV show, and my family said, "Fuck you, we're never going
Yeah,
back."
we're leaving. Yeah.
But all right, man. Okay, so let's get into the show. There's a lot to discuss, like I said, especially hot topics. We had some
Yep.
news break this week, market reports, some fun moves again. For the first time in a long time, I didn't see a video game book on the list, so that was surprising to me. Hurt my feelings, but it's okay. Okay, and of course, we'll go through some of the FOC picks of the week, and that's what we will kick it off with right now. So, Matt, I gotta ask, you ready?
Let's do it.
All right. All right, guys. So the FOC picks of the week are selected by Lefteros. And if you're not already, definitely go check him out on Instagram. And don't forget, like I said earlier, there's some big news here. But go visit comicnation.us to get your FOC orders in. We are still in time. And the big news is that Comic Nation is now open to Canada and the UK. So this was in the US only up until right now. So definitely go check it out. If you're in Canada, the UK, United States, they will hold your ship box, ship it at cost of whatever it's going to cost. If you're holding 400 books, that's on you, but definitely go check them out. And already off the 15% discount code, you can you could add Blakk Crown for an additional 5%. That totals your discount code to 20%.
Can't beat
All right.
that.
You can't. You just can't. But all right. Let's kick it off with the first book. Now, I don't know if you saw this, man. Rare Flavors. We had the Ashcan that just recently dropped. Ram V is on this book. And yeah, man, I saw a lot of people trying to scoop up those Ashcans. I saw actually quite a few copies. So I'm not too sure about that scarcity. I know people love those Ashcans. But yeah, man. So now the actual number one is on FOC. And yeah, that's a cool pick. I'm going to pick it up. What's your thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, listen, I told Carlo before. I said, right now I've been way behind on reading new books. I've been focused more kind of, polishing up some of the, working on the stuff for the channel and polishing up some of my Silver and Bronze Age knowledge. But having said all that, I do like Ram V, and I did hear a little buzz about this book. So listen. We always said when we did new comics of the week, there's nothing wrong with picking up a book for spec, but you gotta love the book as well. So if this is a great story, it's great to have either way, right? It's like that's when it's great when you could buy a book that you maybe think, oh, maybe this could take off in the future, but if it doesn't, then you're just happy that you read it. Then you can't lose, right? So I didn't read the Ashcan. I don't know if anybody here in the chat has any info on it, but Ram V, I do like his work, so this might be one to grab.
There you go. But all right, let's move on from this book. Batman and Robin #1. This one's going to be kicking off with the first appearance of Shush. That's right, in Shadows. And Shush is basically a female version of Hush. So we know how Hush played out within comics, right? A lot of people love picking up those books. We'll see how this one plays out. But I think this is a neat pick, man. Especially even for spec, like you said.
Man, I do not believe in DC, really, or actually Marvel new character spec. So for me, Hush, Shush, I mean, there's new, it's like every book has a new character. So, I mean, to me, don't buy this book for the spec. Buy it because you want to read Batman and Robin #1. I mean, that's my take on this.
That's fair. And I do agree with you. I feel like, especially DC, every book's got like these new first appearances. So you heard it from the man. But all right, let's move on from this book. We've got Amazing Spider-Man 34. So possible introduction of Peter Parker as a version of the Green Goblin. Yes, because in issue 32, some big things go down. So definitely keep an eye out for ASM. Again, like Matt just said, speculation-wise, I wouldn't go too crazy on this. But for the sake of read, I'm curious, right? We've never seen Spider-Man somewhat turned into the Green Goblin here.
Yeah, I mean, this is a cool cover. It's Romita Jr. cover. I think that's going to carry some weight to begin with. And Peter Parker as Green Goblin's a big deal. Obviously, it's, and again, when these things get overprinted, they're not as rare. However, honestly, if you right now, just looking at it, this is, if I had to pick one book that would go up or just kind of stay steady in value, this could be it, right? Because these are iconic characters, and that's a villain, villain hero dynamic that we has never seen. That coupled with this cover, it's an okay cover, but I think the fact that it's Ramita Jr.,
Yeah.
I think this is worth the pickup.
Yeah. And hold up, quick shout out to Comic Kingpins. I know Face is running the account here. I'm seeing the chat, and if I missed you at any point, I apologize. But love you, bro. Appreciate you being here. But yeah, man, I agree with you, man. Especially Romita. Well, look, I'll be honest with you. Some of the shit he's put out recently has not been the best, but this one carries the weight. I think this one's cool.
Listen, when a name like that, you can have a few stinkers. You know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely. Blakk Crown coming in strong with these Sunday night shows. Hey, dude, I appreciate you coming to hang out with us. Tomb, definitely go check out Tomb if you guys haven't yet. Guy puts out some great artwork as well, man. He actually did Rocksteady's logo, in case anybody didn't know that. Now you know that. But yeah, so we never needed to see Peter Parker as the Green
Goblin. That's true too,
Yep.
But it's happening, so now we all have to get it, unfortunately, right? It's like one of those books that it's like, fuck, did I really need this? No, but I have to have it in my collection, right? Like, you can't be a big, I don't know. I feel like this is one that you almost have to have in your collection, even if it's a dud, just in case.
Exactly. But all right, man, let's move on from this one. We've got Star Wars Bounty Hunters 38. First and foremost, I just think this is a neat cover. Clone Wars 15th anniversary variant cover depiction of Cad Bane by EM Gist, which I think this is a beautiful cover. Like I said, this would be a total cover grab for me.
Foreshadowing. We know, I think this character's coming back on Disney Plus at some point, right? I think we all pretty much know that he was not killed off in the Boba Fett series. And Ian Gist is one of the hottest cover artists in the game right now, especially on some of these variants, and he's doing a good job. So, like you just said, this is a cover pickup.
Yeah, Michael Baker wins the comment so far. Gunslinger Spawn. I see the similarity, man. And yeah, dude, I agree with you. Pet just fire, same as you. So he's killing it, man. But all right. Let's move on from this one. Star Wars Dark Droids D Squad #1. So this is the first appearance of the D Squad. Another, I don't want to say another title, but Star Wars 2, man. They've been dropping so many characters, and the speculation almost every new comic book day. People are like, yo, pick up this one, that one, that one, that one. What's your thoughts on this one?
I don't know, man. It's like you said, when you get, I like the cover. It's not. Again, it's nice artwork. It's not usually my style, but I do appreciate it.
Yeah.
Dark Droids. Listen, again, if you're a Star Wars reader, it's one of those ones you probably got to grab. For me, I'm not a huge Star Wars reader. I try to just read the main titles. So this would be a pass for me, just based on the fact that we're getting too far away from kind of the main canon stuff. Yeah. That, me personally, if you're a Star Wars guy, I could see the appeal of picking this one up for sure.
Yeah, Face, I love you too, bro. But yeah, no, I agree. And speaking Star Wars, man, Ahsoka actually just got pushed up a day. You saw that, right? Yep. So that drops this Tuesday,
right? Yeah.
I think it looks incredible.
Excited, yeah.
But all right, let's move on. We've got Uncanny Spider-Man #1. I feel like they're just coming up with whatever and just throwing it at the wall. We'll see if it sticks at this point. But introduction of Nightcrawler as the Uncanny Spider-Man. Hey, look, I'll be honest. There's some cool covers. I think it's a neat design. But I don't know how I feel about this.
Yeah, that's a pass. That's like I'm gonna do like a GIA. That's gonna be a no for me, dog.
Yep. I feel you. But I will shed some light on another cover for this in just a bit. Move on. This is pretty cool. Foils seem to be the main shtick this year, man. A lot of people are digging the gimmick. They're digging the gimmick. But Batman #1 in the foil facsimile, I think that's pretty cool. And it's not just the foil that's available. You could also get the regular facsimile right now. People like myself, maybe not so much Matt. I feel like Matt just might achieve it one day, but I for sure will never have a Batman one. So this is the closest I'm gonna get. And then you got that Art Germ foil right there for Batman and Robin 1, the book we spoke about a little earlier. Art Germ 2 does put out some neat covers, but yeah, we got some foils, man. What's your thoughts?
I mean, I'm not a big fan of the foils. However, there are there's always going to be that exception, right? Whether you buy this in foil, I think this is. I mean, I probably will grab this one in the non-foil. If you're saying there is one, I didn't
Yeah.
realize there was one. Just because, just to have a book that even looks remotely
Close.
like the number one, you know what I
Yeah.
mean? I think is just a cool thing. And then just in case you forgot a bad man in this game, Artgerm drops that gem on us right there.
Yep.
I mean, we forgot how good he was. It feels like a little bit, right? Because he was dropping covers like this a lot. And I feel like, I don't want to say he hasn't at all, but man, yeah, it's easy to start to looking at the shiny new objects, right? And forget kind of who's there. This is a dope cover. It is unreal cover.
Yeah, I agree with you, man, 100%. But back to the facsimile, dude, I do the same thing. I just pick up as many facsimiles that actually carry weight, that matter. Avengers 1, right. Stuff like that. AF-15. Display that. When the average person comes over, they think that's amazing. But then you come over and it's like, BC, what the fuck you doing? These are facsimiles.
Nah, it's all good, man. It's the part. It's a part. No matter how you slice it, it is kind of like a small little slice of history, right?
Yep.
So,
agreed. All right, let's move on from this. Like I said earlier, man, so you've got the Scotty Young cover for that Uncanny Spider-Man, which Scotty Young does some good work, man. I think this is pretty cool. And you got Predator versus Wolverine, another Scotty Young variant. Now, this book's on FOC as well, the Predator versus Wolverine #1. Plenty of neat covers, but I do think it's badass to see Wolverine go head-to-head with the Predators. We'll see how that plays out. What's your thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, I think Scotty Young has kind of reinvigorated his style. I'm seeing him a lot more than I did before. I'm seeing him all over social media. I saw him on Whatnot. I'm seeing some different, almost like a slightly different style on some of his work. I mean, he still has that signature Scotty Young style, but I see him definitely branching out. That Predator versus Wolverine, I think, is a really safe pickup. Yep. If you're a Scotty Young fan, it's almost a must-have. If you're looking to saying like, hey, this guy's work always goes for more than what started at, that's almost always the case, right? His books, it's a $5 book, it's even if at bottom worse, it's a $7 book, a couple months later. Yeah. So that's a safe book. The Uncanny Spider-Man #1. I gotta be honest, I'm not as much of a fan of it as that cover. That's not his best work, to be honest with you. So
no, dude, between the two, I'm 100% with you on the Predator versus Wolverine, and it's kind of cool to see that 20th Century Fox.
It is. I like that.
Yeah, exactly. But the Manimal, thank you for coming to hang out tonight. But yeah, Predator versus Wolverine by Benjamin Percy is going to be fucking epic. I can't wait. I'm definitely gonna pick that one up. But yeah, that one's just for the sake of read. I don't even care for anything else.
I hear that.
But all right, man. And guys, for FOC picks of the week, that was the list. And of course, like I said, if you haven't already, go check out comicnation.us. They are officially open for us Canadians, for the Americans, and if you're out in the UK, they will hold your shipping box, and you can use that discount code Blakk Crown for an additional 5%. That would total your discount code to 20%. If you order today. So those are the picks of the week. Matt, you said you had some nuggets for the people. Do you want to save it for after the market report at the end of the show? When do you want to do this?
I made them related to some of the stuff we're gonna talk about. So
let's do this.
Let's do that.
Yep. So that being said, we're gonna kick off some of the market report, and there were some interesting moves. Clearly, that Taylor Swift love is insane, and we'll talk about that in just a bit. So Matt, you ready?
Let's do it.
All right. All right, guys, so like I said, market report, we're going to talk about some of the books that moved, and in no particular order, because I take the books that I think are pretty neat to talk about from CBSI's list, cover price, eBay, go collect. Those are my sources, and I'm gonna chop it up with Matt, who's also got some nuggets. So let's get into this. Matt, the first book of the week that we're going to talk about is All New X-Men 114. This is the direct copy, first appearance of Cassandra Nova. This one took a huge jump with the speculation, the news, the rumors that Cassandra Nova is going to pop in Deadpool 3. CGC 98 sold for $300 USD, which is more than double from last week. So just in a week's time, this one made some big moves on the
Oh yeah.
market, and raw copies in a VF face market value, $12, came in at number one on cover price, dude.
I mean, this was a book that probably for the past 5 years you find in back bins for $3, right? Um, the rumor is Emma Corrin, right? She's going to be playing. She's going to be playing what's her name? Cassandra Nova.
Yep.
Twin sister of Xavier. Interesting backstory. If you haven't, what up, swag? If you don't know her backstory, kind of just go do a little Google. It's interesting. She's an interesting character. If you haven't read these comics, the problem here is that we've heard Emma Corrin's character be tied to like 3 other characters already. So I guess my thing is to not jump all in on this book. If you have it already, great, good for you. You know, if you got a bunch of them, start flipping them, because it might be at its peak right now. Because even if this is the character, how much legs does that character have after Deadpool? Probably not much, right? The other characters that Emma Corrin's been tied to are Lady Deathstrike, right? So you got a bunch. She's got a bunch of not first appearances, but a bunch of books that have value when you're talking about her. I think the most notable one that's shot up recently is X-Men 205. That's when she gets that adamantium, right?
Yep.
Then I think the one after that is probably Alpha Flight 33. She's been tied to the one that we kind of speculated on a little bit, Spiral.
Yes.
All right, and that's appears in Long Shot number 1. So that's a double spec. You got Long Shot and Spiral. We heard about the Mojo verse, Mojo and the Mojo verse being in Deadpool. If that plot is true, then Spiral makes more sense because that's the character from that storyline, right?
Yep.
And then Lady Deadpool. Obviously, that's kind of like an obvious choice. I feel like somebody's going to be playing her.
Yeah.
That book's kind of, I don't want to say you're out of the price range on that one, but you're not going to spec on that because that's an expensive book to begin with. Was it Merc with a Mouth 7?
Yeah,
right?
exactly. And dude, it's already taken off. In fact, the second print and third print have already made
through the
their
roof.
Yeah, they've already made their way on lists, so that one's up there.
So it's this. We're playing this game of like throw the dart at the dartboard to find out who Emma Corrin is playing in Deadpool 3. I wouldn't put a ton of if we're talking about investment purposes, I wouldn't go crazy on these books. Find this book in a back bin because you could find it. You could find it for $5. You know, don't go. Don't buy a 9.8 for $300. If you really want it, go for it, but don't think that it's going to be worth $500 because somebody's going to buy at the top, but somebody's going to buy at somebody's going to buy at the bottom, but then somebody's going to buy at the top, and don't be that guy that buys at the top, right? So I don't know if it's going to be too much higher than 300. Maybe a little bit if she ends up being in the movie. So
yeah, man. And dude, I agree with you because not all shops follow these lists and so forth. They're not all watching YouTube, and they don't got the time. They're busy pricing their books sometimes, not all the time. And yeah, man. So you could definitely find this in the back bins. You might have to dig, but keep an eye out. Keep an eye out. All right. Let's move on from this one, but here's the one that I almost wanted to put Taylor Swift's face on her just because. But yeah, man, Dazzler's getting some serious love, all thanks to those, what are they called? Swifties, Swifters, whatever the Taylor Swift fans are. But Uncanny X-Men 130, this is the newsstand. Came in at number 7 on cover price, and a CGC 9.6 sold for $449 USD. Raw. Fine. Face market value $63 US. Not bad.
Yeah, that's probably higher than that since you wrote it down, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
This is listen, this book should be in your collection regardless of Taylor Swift, right?
Yep.
Yeah, I like what Manimal says there. 100%. That's kind of what I was getting at. Excuse me. I was gonna say, not to go back one. But if you're like, I need to spec on who Emma Corrin's going to be, I think the safest bet is just Lady Deathstrike. Like, if you really want to buy a book, because those are books that have value either way. Those are characters that have value either way. But getting back to Dazzler here, this is a great book. This is a valuable book no matter what's happening with Taylor Swift or not. Part of the Dark Phoenix saga. This is iconic Claremont. I mean, this is one of the best storylines in Comic Kingpin. For my money, one of the best storylines, in Marvel. So I kind of hate the Taylor Swift news because it's making this book way more expensive than it should be right now.
For no reason.
I mean, there's a reason because and again, this is an expensive book regardless. It's an important character. Kevin Feige has talked about Dazzler being on his wish list, so there's some legs to some of this. The character, whether it's the actress or not. I mean, is she really an actress? I guess we could count her as an actress. It's the character, go after character. Yeah. Forget about Taylor Swift. I mean, don't buy the book because of Taylor Swift. Buy it because it's Claremont. Yeah. Dark Phoenix and Dazzler.
Yeah, for sure. And I know, it's a love-hate when it comes to the character because a lot of people just can't stand Dazzler. I saw Mr. Key issues in here. He's one of them. But yeah, man. And dude, I could totally see Taylor Swift pull it off. That's the worst part. Is like I hate to admit it. But yeah, she would look awesome as Dazzler. And yeah, man, I agree with everything you said, man. Claremont, you can't go wrong with owning this book, but it has popped off at a level that I find absolutely nuts now. Just because of Taylor Swift. Like you said, probably even went a little higher since writing this down, right? So let's see how long this holds. And if the rumors do come true that it is her, I am curious to see where this book ends up.
Claremont Byrne. Yeah, I only said Claremont, but the Claremont Byrne relationship is amazing because they wrote and drew some of the best stuff, but they really didn't like each other.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of stories that go back on that. So it's amazing what they really did, to be honest with you.
Yep. Funny because as much as they didn't like each other, they put out some of the best shit ever.
They made magic, man. They made absolute magic. So
yep. All right, man. Let's move on from this one. We've got Spider-Man Reign #1. This is the black costume cover because there's one of him just as within his red costume. And this is actually the first appearance of Peter's Peter, if you know what I'm saying. Yes, this is why. For some reason, this book is making the list. So it comes in at #4 on cover price. And the main reason why it's made the list is because this book apparently is scarce. Why? Because, yes, this made an appearance within the book and then got pulled back and they re-released it without it. Kind of like that. What was that Batman issue? I forgot. Recently that came out. That same nonsense. But
him and Catwoman on the roof.
Yeah, something like that. But CGC 9.4 sold for $80 USD. This actually made #4 on cover price because copies were, for some reason, being sought out in the last week.
I mean, yeah, people are going after those scarce comics. I saw another one on the list that you're going to talk about in a minute, so I don't want to jump the gun there.
Yeah.
Yeah, tough book, right? Because it's a black cover, so I'm sure it's hard to get in anything over a 9.4.
Yeah.
Yeah, the Batwang in Batman Damned.
There you go.
I don't want to talk nothing about the web shooter, Peter's web shooter on this one. I'll have no comment on that, but I don't know. I think there is a line where rarity doesn't always equal value. Mm-hmm. So just be careful with some of these books that are super low print run. It's all good if it's a book that people want, but if it's a low print run and nobody wants it, it doesn't mean that it's gonna have value. So there is a fine line. So just be careful with this one. It's a pretty cool cover. I mean, I do like the cover, but I hopefully not buying it for the web shooter.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. And it is true that they are doing a sequel to this now. Was previewed in ASM 31. So yeah, the whole Spider-Man Reign stuff. But yeah, so people flock to this. So
sure. Makes
made
sense.
Made the list. But I agree with you, man. Fine lines, guys. Fine lines. All right. Moving on from this one. Now, this one brings back some weird memories because of course this came out pandemic and all that fun stuff. Timeless #1, the first cover appearance of Miss Minutes. I remember people were paying out the gills for this. I had pre-ordered, I think, about 5 copies on FOC. You can call me whatever the hell you want. Feel free to call me a dirty flipper.
Smart.
Yeah. I sold my copies. I didn't care about it.
Good for you.
And I kept one. I only kept one. I sold all 4 copies at about $60 to $80 a pop Canadian. So just to give you an idea, now here we stand, CGC 9/8, $176, 24 cents Canadian. That was the last sale on August 15, 2023. And you had near mint face market values going for $34 USD. So just to give you an idea, this came in at #15 on cover price, clearly because there's a lot of stuff happening now, right? Miss Minutes, Loki's coming back, season 2. We're around the corner, dude. It's not too far.
I mean, the most watched show on Disney Plus, right, of the MCU. So there's a reason for that. Loki was a great show. It hit the masses. It didn't just hit the comic book fans. It hit a lot of people. A lot of people watched that show. So it's understandable. I'm not a believer in missed minutes. However, this book does have some other interesting spec.
Yes.
And other first appearances and characters as this character and multiverse kind of implications. So I think it's good to have a copy of it long term, other than Miss Minutes. I think Miss Minutes again is kind of what I don't know. Maybe she has legs. I don't know. It seems like people love her, so now they're putting her in comics and they're putting her on covers. So maybe there's something to it. But I think this book has more to offer than just Miss Minutes. Let's put it that way.
Yeah, I agree with you, man. There's some good things that happen within this book, but again, it just seems that everybody loves the Miss Minutes cover, and that's really what people are drawn towards, and they're picking it up. See, we got Loki season 2, and here we are, number 15 on cover price. So, yeah. All right. Next book, my man Lando. Yes, sir. First appearance of Lando. Star Wars 43, CGC 98 sold for 401 cent Canadian on August 16, 2023. Came in at number 18 on cover price. Now, this obviously being the news with what's his name? Childish Gambino, Glover, and his brother.
Glover brothers, yeah.
Yeah, they're going to be taking the reins. Now, dude, I've said it before. He did a great job playing Lando. I'm just a little concerned about him writing it. I think he'll do okay. Let's see how this plays out with him and his brother. But number 18 on cover price, man. What's your thoughts?
Yeah, I don't know how to take the news, but obviously people are taking to it because this book is now jumping. So people like that news that the brothers are going to be writing this, the Glover brothers.
Yep.
What is it? First appearance in comic books after that super special magazine, which is a super pricey book. Mm-hmm. So I get it. This is a good book because it's, what is it? I think it's second Boba in comics as well.
Yes, second.
So it has some stuff to offer. Cool book. Yeah, it's a must-have if you're a Star Wars fan, obviously. I think it's actually kind of, prior to this news, I think it was actually an undervalued book, to be honest. But I don't know if that's going to be the case anymore. So,
yeah.
But I'll hold out kind of comment for what the Lando series will be. We're hearing, and we could get into this a little bit later, but we're hearing a lot of things about Disney Plus just being completely scaled back. There's a chance we never see this series. Be honest with you, there's a very good chance we never see this series. There's a chance that we don't see a lot of the series that we thought we were for the past 2 years that we were, kind of banking on, and we may be caught holding the bag if you were kind of specking on some of those series. So tread carefully on this one. Have it in your collection if you're a big Star Wars fan, but don't chase it. Don't chase it. That's all I could say right now. Wait for that hype to die down a little bit. You got plenty of time before this is even remotely on anybody's radar again. So
yeah,
give it a few weeks, give it a month, and then start trying to go after it.
Yeah, absolutely. Quick shout out to Cliff on Comics for coming to hang out with us in the chat tonight. Appreciate you. But Matt, I agree, man, especially with the whole Disney Plus stuff, scaling back and so forth. You might get caught holding it.
Yeah.
So I wouldn't be going out there paying a little too high for it right now. I imagine in very short future, like it's going to come back down to a normal level.
Yeah.
But all right, let's talk the next book. And this one is interesting because Amazing Spider-Man 607, the newsstand cover by J. Scott Campbell, CGC 98 sold for 2,000 USD, dude. In 2020, it sold for 720 in a CGC 98. So look at that jump. Now, you would think 2020, the COVID numbers, right? Everybody talks COVID numbers, but here we are, post-pandemic, and we're at $2,000. That's nuts. Cover price shaker this week on their list. Look, honestly, probably one of my favorite Campbell covers. I think it's one of the best Felicia Hardy covers. But that $2,000 price tag hurts, bro.
I think what's happening here is, J. Scott Campbell, his art just lives on, right? People are digging it. People love him. People love his art. They like these style covers here with the girls, right? We all like the girls, right? So, and I think what's the difference between 2020 and now is that people are putting such a higher premium on newsstands, right?
Yep.
and for good reason, right? At this time, I'm not gonna, I don't want to say it's gonna be an educated guess. I think the newsstand print count was less than 4% at this
Yep.
time when this book
Yep.
came out. And to get a newsstand in a 9.8 is extremely hard, right?
Mhm.
Because those books were on, just that newsstand. But at this time, they were mostly like Barnes and Nobles. Those books I
Yeah.
used to see, they would throw them up there. People would grab them, bend them. Out of the whole bunch, you're lucky if you found one that was even near mint. So
Yeah.
to have, somewhere between a 2 and 4% print count on a really iconic J. Scott Campbell cover, and it's a 9.8 newsstand, I do believe that price tag, well, maybe it's a little inflated. I don't think it's too far off.
Yeah.
I don't know if I'd be chasing this one down in newsstand, but I think this is a cool book to have in your collection and direct either way, because I think this cover is kind of timeless. I don't think that there's any spec behind it, which I love.
Yes. That's
That this is just it's comic book fans loving it and wanting it, and the demand is what's causing the price to go up for a kind of like an organic reason, as opposed to something that may roller coaster up and down.
Yeah.
So,
I love what you just said over the fact that there's zero speculation behind this. Yes, the scarcity for a newsstand. I say $2,000 price tag hurts because I always think in my head, wow, 2,000 US, what can I do with that? Get a
sure.
low grade Hulk 181. We get a low grade this, but 100% agree with you. The fact that the scarcity definitely makes it appealing. But look at that jump within 3 years, right? So we'll say 3 years, but 2020, 2023, it took a huge jump, and it's pretty impressive to see, man. So yeah, I don't know. It's a banger of a cover for sure.
For
I've got
sure.
the direct. I don't got no newsstands. I'm too broke for newsstands. But yeah,
Listen,
man.
I wouldn't drop 2K on it. Let's put it that way. I dropped 2K on a lot of other books before this one. However,
Yeah,
there is a huge market for covers like this, so I completely understand it.
exactly. But all right, man. Speaking of some fun books, Invincible 19, dude. Invincible season 1 dropped what? It's been quite some time now. It's what, almost 2 years? Somewhere
Yeah,
around
we're
there.
coming on 2 years, I believe. Yeah.
Exactly. And we've got the hype of season 2 making its way. But first appearance of Tether Tyrant, Battle Beast, Magnattack, and you've got Magmaniac. 9,660 copies were ordered by retailers. CGC 9.8 recently sold for 675 USD. This also made a cover price shaker. So you could see, even so long after season 1 and with the news of season 2, Invincible books have been holding the fort, man, and now picking back up again. So pretty cool to see. What's your thoughts?
Yeah, I was never really a huge Invincible fan. However, you
Yeah.
got two great names in the hobby, right? Kirkham and Otley.
Yes, sir.
Great duo. They created something magical here. Now, I said it earlier, because scarcity doesn't always equal good. In this case, I think it does, because there's a lot of fans, there's a lot of hype behind Invincible. So 9,600 copies, it's kind of, you're getting into those, like, it's even lower, but it's similar to where those Spawn issues get into the low print count. Amazing covers, and then people realize, like, whoa, these were barely printed. Those even non-key Spawn books, like in that one, I think they're in that 120 range. Don't
Yep.
I'm sure
Yep.
somebody in the chat will correct me.
Even the 200s are up there.
Yeah, I mean they're $20 books, even if they're not a key, and the keys, forget about it, right? In that low print run era, ton of first appearances, like you said, season 2 probably coming out, before you know it. So this makes sense. I think people are starting to turn their attention to stuff like this, and there's a good reason for it. So I think it checks all the boxes.
Yep.
If you could find it, good for you, man. If you have it already, even better.
Yep. Of course, man. I'll be honest with you. If I had a copy, I'd probably be selling, man. That was a good time. That was a good time.
Yeah.
Yep. But all right, next book that we're going to talk about. This was interesting, man, because Miles Morales, the Ultimate Spider-Man #1, the 1 in 50 ratio. Dude, there's only 183 copies on CGC Census. A near mint raw copy sold for $3,000 US. That is absolutely mind-blowing. Cover price taker.
It's more expensive than his first appearance.
Yeah, that's what I'm getting at.
Interesting, right? Very interesting. I think you hit the nail on the head, though. Why? Because of the number on the census. There's a couple thousand, right? Ultimate Fallout 4 cover A's, first
Yep.
prints, 9/8 on the census.
Yep.
So that's a huge reason. This is where scarcity is coming into play. I mean, this is clearly a better cover. I mean, at least in my opinion.
Yeah.
And you even get into the Ultimate Comics prior to this, right? So this is his first kind of like main solo title series, starting from number 1. That Ultimate Comics Spider-Man, which is his second appearance, right? Second appearance, first solo story. You have all those Pacelli variants
Yes.
that go for a great premium as well, and there's
Yep.
good reason. It's his second appearance, his first solo, and the covers are absolute bangers, right?
Yep.
So you have this. This is kind of that same thing. Do I think it's a little overpriced? I do. I think it's a little overpriced. I understand the scarcity's there. We've seen him several times prior to this book. So while I do think it deserves to be up there in the 4-digit range, I don't know if it's a $3,000 book, but if someone is willing to pay for it, then that's how much it is, right?
Yeah.
you
Dude,
know?
it's funny because you brought up the Pacelli ones, and I think those are absolutely beautiful covers. Pacelli did a great job,
Gorgeous.
but it's funny because the Pacelli cover on the second print for Fallout 4 is actually such a low pickup.
Yeah,
It's
that's a
like,
book to grab, man.
yeah, like you
Those
can
are
literally
super undervalued. Yep.
you can grab one for like 300 Canadian. That's chump change for a Miles Morales first appearance, but here you have this one.
Fiona Staples, right? Is this cover artist, right?
Yeah, it's absolutely nuts. It is Staples, but it's nuts. This one's
Yep.
going for 3,000, way more
Crazy.
than the first appearance. And this is raw.
Is this the most expensive variant outside of the 1 in 25?
I'm gonna assume so at this point now because this sale I think probably just topped it.
Yeah, that's crazy. Some people, so Cliff's saying some people pay just to say that. And listen, that's some people always say like, why spec? Why? What's the thing with spec? Well, the thing with spec is when people get excited about something,
Yep.
they need to have it now, and they don't care what it costs, and that's what drives prices up. That's what drives interest up. They go up together. It's proportionate.
Yep.
Miles, the video games coming out. This new video games coming out. People are loving Miles. We're hearing live action. We're hearing a lot of great things, and people believe in that. Spider-Verse was great. So you could see the difference between what's happening with the MCU. And I hate, people sometimes hate talking about like connecting the movies and the comics, but the reality is that's the reality, right? Like that's what happens. So, and it's what's kind of kept this hobby really humming, right? It is those things, whether you like it or not. But when you drive the interest up and people get really excited about something, they will drop $3,000 on a book like that. That's what happens,
Exactly.
You make something good, people will respond. You make something bad, people will also respond. It's just going to go in the other direction. And we could see how many books have gone in the other direction recently. So,
Matt, I shit you not, I've heard somebody literally tell me to my face that one of the main reasons they believe in Miles and are willing to spend so much money is because obviously being the age we are, we clearly missed AF-15, and they feel like this has the potential to eventually be the next character to hit AF-15 status. So coming out of the modern age, I don't know. We'll see.
maybe
But
100 years from now.
yeah, but clearly the Miles love is there. My kid loves Miles Morales. He definitely sticks with the younger crowd. So
Sure.
yeah. But all right, man. Let's move on from this one. Blue Beetle number 1. Yes, we're going way back on this one, but the first solo title and origin of Blue Beetle, Dan Garrett. CGC 6.0, so for $6,107 USD. It was a cover price shaker of the week. And dude, yes, with the love for Blue Beetle, especially that it dropped this week. I'm hearing mixed reviews, by the way. I don't know if you've heard any. Some people say they love it. Some people are like, it's way too corny. I even had somebody tell me, one of my boys, Marvell from the Comic Kingpins, was like, dude, it kind of felt like Fast and the Furious at some point with that whole, it's for the family bullshit.
Yeah.
And I was like, this is like the second movie that DC does this, because Shazam literally purposely did that. But yeah, man. So back to this one, Blue Beetle number 1. Dude, this is an old as shit book. This is like from the 1930 something, somewhere around there, 40s.
40s, I believe. Yeah.
A 6.0 is pretty impressive. And that coin, if I had it, I can assure you, I wouldn't be buying this book, but I could understand somebody wanting to spend this money. So, what's your thoughts?
I want to see the movie. I've heard
Yeah.
so far what I've heard is good. More good than bad. Let's put it that way.
Yep.
Just like Chia Pet said, box office not great. We know it's a little childish, but I think the character, I think the actor has some heat coming off him after Karate Kid. So if you're into Karate Kid, you're probably going to be into this as well.
Hmm.
It seems like a step in the right direction for DC from what I'm hearing. You know, again, maybe a little corny, but I mean, comics are a little corny, right? A lot of the time.
Absolutely.
So, you know, it kind of feels truer to, you know, sometimes I don't get that. People complain about a movie being a certain way when it feels kind of like a comic book. You
Yep.
know, like they did that with Secret Invasion. Well, it doesn't make sense. There's too many leaps and bounds. Well,
Yeah.
have you read it? Have you read a comic book ever? Like that's kind of what it is, right? So,
Yep.
I do really want to see this. I know this is a different Blue Beetle than the one we got, but these books go for a premium. I mean, this book, I'd be curious to see what it sold for before, but I understand. Listen, when people get excited, they start buying shit. That's the bottom line. And look what happened here. So
Exactly. We've got one more book on the list that we'll talk about, but I'm going to bring up a second one after that, okay? Because I was
okay.
hesitant on putting it on the list, but we'll talk about it. But before we get to it, Iron Fist 14. This was the 35 cent price variant. First appearance and cover of Sabretooth. CGC 8.0 sold for $5,750 US. Cover price key of the week. Now, again, kind of like those newsstands and so forth. See, 25 cent, 30 cent, 35 cent. 35 cents. I don't think I've seen many copies. Even when I was Googling for the image, it was almost impossible to find, just to give you an idea. So if I'm having a hard time finding images, I could imagine we're going to have a hard time finding the book.
Yeah.
But yeah, man. So $5,700 US right here. I think that's a pretty impressive sale for this book.
Yeah, this is when scarcity, you know, again, this is when it matters. This is an iconic villain. People go after this book all the time. I think the 35 cent variant started with number 13. So it went 13, 14, and 15, and then the series ended. So I understand, you know, this is super scarce book. So Cockrum and Claremont, goodness, man. This is the price variance is never something I collected, but I always look for them, you know, like Marvel Spotlight 28, things like that. Would love to be able to find them in the wild, you know, kind of it's tough though. These are things that it's maybe you find in a collection just out of pure luck, you know.
Yep, exactly. If you're buying those, old collections off someone, maybe you might hit gold, but not something I'd imagine coming across. So this was definitely a book that was way overvalued during the boom, but I love this book. So yeah,
For
I
sure.
agree.
It's come back to where I think it's back where it kind of belongs at this point.
Yeah. But all right, man. So I said there was one book that I had left off the list because I kind of felt like, I don't know. It's just a bit odd to me on the sale. So maybe you have an idea which one I'm gonna talk
Yeah,
about.
I do.
So let me share the screen with you. Here it is, man. So Incredible Hulk 377. This is the third print, and this third print came out like 3 years after the first print. Just to give you guys an idea, first Professor Hulk released 3 years after the first print. Like I said, CGC 98 sale for $14,750 US. Jesus Christ, that is a car. Cover price shaker, dude. This is very interesting, man. What was your thoughts on this sale?
It doesn't seem right. There's 300 copies of this book graded above a 9.0. There's also an even rarer copy of this book.
Mm-hmm.
It's not US, but it's the colorless variant. They made it for some type of promotion in Finland. There is like I think there's no 9/8.
Yeah.
So I don't understand how we jump from 2,000 to
Exactly
14,000. This just doesn't make sense. You know, sometimes you do get some of that price gouging or just mistakes. This one seems off. Yeah, I mean, people did not like Smart Hulk, Professor Hulk, however you want to call it. So, and where is the jump? Why is it happening all of a sudden now? I know there's scarcity there, but it's not super scarce. You know, I mean, I know in a 9.8, it's, there's not a ton of them, but there's a bunch of 9s and 9.2s and 9.4s, 9.6s. So
Yep.
Yeah, something's not right. Something's not right.
Exactly. And Michael Baker sharing some of the information that I had here as well. But the last 9 sales were an average of $2,436 with only 2 of those being over $3,000, 3,200 and 3,300. So yeah, no justification. I think that was a very, very, very strange sale. But before we talk a little more about it, Swaggerhouse is in the house, man. And
Niggy, what
Swaggerhouse,
up?
yeah,
What
always
up? What up?
dropping phenomenal content. He just dropped some videos today. Well, a video. So definitely go check that out. But I appreciate you coming to swing by, dude. So yeah, man, that's a big sale. Very, very crazy. Agreed, Justin. Crazy sale. I wonder if the buyer actually paid. He did, and cover price confirmed. So apparently, this is legit, dude. Interesting. Interesting. So Matt, you saw the chat. You were paying attention. He was dropping some nuggets there. Cassandra
Well, a
Nova.
couple little ones. I got more later. I got some. I got 2 good ones later. That's. I mean, to me, I think they're good, but I don't know.
There,
We'll see.
there you go. But all right, man. So we'll get into the hot topics so you can drop those nuggets on these people. Even though that sounded totally perverted, I apologize. Nor do I care. Matt, you ready to talk hot topics?
Let's do it.
All right. All right, so hot topics of the week. There was some of those big things that took place. Taylor Swift, I kind of felt like was a little passe now, right? It was about a week and a half ago. So let's talk some of the fun stuff, comic related stuff to begin with. Marvel's bringing back Sentry, dude. So who will the new Sentry be? Well, the Sentry's dead, but ordinary people all over the world are suddenly manifesting his powers and experiencing snippets of Bob Reynolds' memories. So that's pretty interesting. But not everyone can be trusted, right, with such responsibility, sparking a violent conflict to control the Sentry's legacy. This is scheduled to drop December 6th. I think this is a pretty interesting approach. Now, Sentry got totally annihilated within King in Black.
Stupid.
Right?
That was dumb. Yeah,
It
but
was.
yes.
It was, man. It's anyways, look, I don't want to touch too much on that one, but yeah, so pretty interesting approach here to bring back Sentry in some way. But yeah, man, what's your thoughts on this?
My thoughts on this is that if you are a heavy investor in Sentry #1, you're probably panicking a little bit right now.
Yeah.
Because it's pointing that Steven Yeun, who we believe sounds like he's going to be in the MCU as Sentry in some way, shape, or form, could be somebody other than Bob Reynolds. I think people would absolutely lose their minds.
Yes.
If that happened, but it kind of seems like that's what's going to happen here, which, yeah, I don't know. Yeah, I mean, there you go. I bet it'd be an Asian guy. I think that's a safe bet. So, yeah, I I don't want to be the bearer of bad news, but if you have those Sentry #1s,
you might want to offload.
I'm not. I mean, it's still the character, so I don't think it's going to drop to the bottom of the. I mean, because it's a black cover, it's not heavily printed, so it's still going to have some value. But if we get a new character and then that's the character we get, I guess, in maybe the Thunderbolts or whatever the rumor is, that's going to change some things. That's going to change things a little bit.
Yeah. By the way, Chiapet, we're gonna do a little throwback here, but I was there when Lefteros. That's right, Lefteros claimed the Comic-Con exclusive. I think it was the San Diego Comic-Con Sentry #1. You got that for fucking $5, dude. Nuts. But yeah, man, I agree with you. That's actually good points, especially regarding the fact that he's been casted in the MCU, apparently going to be Sentry. So it is quite a possibility. All right. Moving on. Speaking rumors, Andrew Garfield was reportedly approached to appear in Avengers Secret Wars. Now, I hate to say that I kind of saw this one coming, right? Like, Secret Wars, we know what that entails, right? Comics wise, especially, we have multiversal things taking place, same characters from all across the multiverse. But Andrew Garfield, again, he never got his battle against aliens, right?
Yeah, right.
Right. Maybe this is where it's going to take place. But I look, I'm all for him coming back. And even Toby, I don't mind. But I think after Secret Wars, like I don't want to see any more of this shit.
Yeah.
But yeah, what's your thoughts on this rumor?
I mean, we've heard rumors about basically everyone that's ever donned a comic book title in a movie coming back for this. And it sounds like now all I saw today was videos on reboot after Secret Wars. So expect everyone. That's pretty much what I expect everyone, which means it's going to be that some of the, I mean, if we're talking specs, some of it's going to get watered down because a lot of these characters are just going to flash in and flash out. But
Yep.
I think expect a lot of changes after Secret Wars. So I could see Toby. I could see Andrew, Toby
Yep.
in there. You know, definitely.
Yep.
But listen, we've already seen them, so why not? You know.
Exactly, man. And again, Chiapet does mention that it was, this is the worst kept secret, and especially
Yeah.
during the No Way Home, right? Like there was so many leaks that came out, so we all saw that one coming. I think I'm okay with this even being a leak at this point
Yeah.
because
Sure.
we, like you said, we kind of expect it, right, at this point. So it's cool. It's cool. And like you said, expect everyone at this point. Yes, Swaggle is repeating. Expect everyone, especially Deadpool 3, where it's starting to feel like multiverse of madness, right? Like everyone's popping
Yeah.
in. So. But all right, let's move on from this. So here's a cool one. You have forgive me if I botch it. It's Sashir Zamata reveals her Agatha character. So in an interview with Mashable, Zamata revealed how her superhero character will be sorceress Jennifer Kale, but that the show's version of the character will be very different from what people expect. In the comics, Jennifer Kale is a powerful sorcerer who shared stories with Doctor Strange, Man Thing, X Force, the Thunderbolts, very fitting, and more. Interestingly enough, the character also happens to be the cousin of both Johnny Blaze and Danny Ketch, both of whom were Ghost Riders. So, very fitting for some of the stuff that's been going on within the MCU, especially now we're getting Thunderbolts. Coven of Chaos, man. I'm gonna be honest. I feel like a lot of people, yes, we get some news related to it and so forth, but the hype isn't there, right? The hype isn't there. People are just like, whatever it's gonna be. It's probably just gonna be a WandaVision like spin-off at this point, like probably lesser of carrying going on. But I think this so far from what I'm hearing from the show, there's some cool things that are gonna happen here within the sorcery stuff, right? And the witches, and I'm all for this. I think this is gonna be fun watch. What's your thoughts?
Yeah. I think a lot of people liked Wanda, and I think that'll carry over. I think what's her name that played Agatha? I can't remember the actress's name.
Yeah.
She killed it, right? I think she was one of the bright spots as far as new characters. And I think a lot of people like Aubrey Plaza, who's going to be in there. So I think there will be some buzz behind it once we get some more concrete details. I like the Jennifer Kale thing. People have been talking about that character coming in for a while now.
Yeah.
Hearing though that it's going to be different than what we've seen, so like kind of what she's known for, makes sense. Not that it makes sense, but that's what made me think here. So those Fear books are expensive to begin with. Number 10, number 11. Number 11 is her first appearance.
Yep.
So I wouldn't be running after that because it's a pricey book already. Yeah, I've seen them in back bins, not recently, but, maybe they're hanging out there. Not everybody knows what Adventure into Fear is.
Yep.
So definitely keep your eyes peeled, just by chance. But I wanted to run with, and I'll try to keep it short. I wanted to run with kind of what this actress said here. It's going to be something a little different. And I try to think of kind of the witch take, right? So there's a series called Witches from 2014 where there's a team. It's her and other witches, and it's literally called their group is called the Witches, right? So that's a cheap $3 book that maybe you want to grab just as a maybe. But more interestingly, was diving into Jennifer Kale's backstory.
Yep.
The Kales came, they kind of worship this cult of this I guess you want to call her like a priestess or something like that, and I had to write it down because I couldn't pronounce it. Zered Na, okay? And Zered Na's first appearance is Fear number 15. All right, and that's not a book that you see in Key Collector.
Yeah.
Okay, so you feel, coven and cults, and that's what they were worshiping. That's how Jennifer Kale got her powers, because they were following the cult of Zered Na. So if they get into that version of the backstory, I could see that book picking up heat, especially since it's an older book, right? So, and it's cheap. It's not in Key Collector. So if you grab that now, you could see some jump in that if they start mentioning that character. Yeah. Another reason that character, and there's probably origin in that book as well, because that character obviously comes after Jennifer Kale, so I'm sure there's some type of origin there. The the character also has ties to Cthulhu. And obviously Cthulhu was kind of the force. They dropped the name in his temple behind the Darkhold. This is all Cthulhu. And we know that character is at a minimum going to be mentioned in the Coven of Chaos.
Yeah.
And this is a character that has major ties to Cthulhu also. So a cheap book in a cool series, a Bronze Age series, Fear number 15. Not something you see on Key Collector, so get it now. It's probably a $10 book in a pretty good grade. So, you know, I think it's worth the grab just because they're saying it's not going to be the Man-Thing storyline with Jennifer Kale. So maybe it is kind of her cult that she was tied to, where she kind of came from. And that's kind of the leader of that cult. And not the leader because it came after she died technically. So I could see that being an important book. You know, I don't want to say it's going to turn into a fucking $1,000 book, but I could see it having some legs. So
yeah, no, it's probably your best bet right now, especially after the explanation for a return on a low buy-in, and then if you want to make some coin on it. But the difference of how this character is going to be portrayed as well, right? I'm curious to see too now how that would play out, because all of that backstory wise, that Matt just completely annihilated us all with knowledge right there, dropping some good information.
I appreciate you, man. I just do some reading. That's all. You just do a little reading, you know. Don't give me too much credit.
No, forget nuggets. That was the $20 of nuggets right there for everybody. but yeah, man. So look, I'm ecstatic. Some people in the chat were saying some things here about the casting being awesome, and I think Hyper actually dropped her name, so it's Catherine Hahn.
Catherine Hahn, there you go.
Yeah,
yep.
Exactly. And I always forget her name, but yet I always remember her from Step Brothers. Every time I see her, I just
absolutely. Stay golden, pony boy.
Yeah, man. But the casting is clearly solid, man. And I think everything you just said totally adds up. So I'm pumped. But all right, moving on from this. I don't know how you feel about this one. Yeah, there it is. The thumbs down. Absolutely.
If I had a third one, I would use it.
Yeah, exactly. Well, you don't whip that one out. But Taika Waititi discusses what he would do with Thor 5. And to be honest with you, look, I understand that all he said was, what he would do if he was given the opportunity. But I'm scared as hell that this does end up taking place. They give him the third film, right, to do his thing. Now, Chris Hemsworth came out saying he has absolutely no idea where this character that he's playing, Thor, stands within the MCU at this point, right? He doesn't know what's going to happen next. Clearly, he feels like the character needs to evolve. I'll be honest with you, the entire series needs to evolve. Like, I almost want to forget Love and Thunder. I don't want to talk too negative about the movie. But fuck, it was a crock of shit. Like, I left the theater pissed. I was actually pissed. And they did gore so dirty. But anyways, besides the point, Taika Waititi, look, we'll throw him his flowers where we can. I thought Ragnarok was decent. I thought it was a fun film. I can go back to watch it. It was okay. Kind of got little, pieces of Planet Hulk there and so forth. Like, it was okay. But then what happened in the next one, just this God of Love and Thunder was horrendous. If he were to come back, like, what's your thoughts here?
Well, first, I'm reading the chat, guys, and I appreciate you guys all. I'm reading the comments, you guys got me. I appreciate that. Honestly, Taika Waititi did not have enough juice in my book to lay down a stinker like that and then allow me to give him another chance.
Exactly.
Right? He did a great job with Thor Ragnarok. It was something I guess we didn't know that we actually needed. It was a good, fun movie, right? It kind of changed the perception of things, and unfortunately, I feel like the MCU has tried to use that as the blueprint going forward. It feels like in Phase 4, and it totally failed in my mind. At least where they tried to be too comedic. Yeah. And Thor Love and Thunder was the culmination of that. This could have been, and I'm sure somewhere out there in all the edits and all the cutting, there was probably a pretty good movie. Yeah. But he turned it into a joke, and it almost sounded like that's what he wanted to do. Yeah. And who knows? I mean, these guys talk shit, but that was he lost so much stock after 3 onto 4 that I don't want to see what I wouldn't give him a chance to do 5.
Same.
Just because like it was that bad in my eyes.
Yeah.
There was I understand having fun with it and the comedic effect, and I'm all for that. I know people hate that just to the core, and I'm not one of those guys, but to do what they did and take one of the better storylines of the modern era of that gore run, that gore storyline, and just absolutely shit on it.
Yeah, it was terrible.
It was literally right there. Like, take it out of the pages, change it a little bit, and you have yourself a grand, not a home run, a grand slam.
Yeah.
When we saw the preview and you had the shot of the god, the dead dinosaur god that they basically pulled from the pages of comics, I was so excited.
Exactly.
And then they laid that stinker on us. It almost felt like I got stabbed in the back because we expected so much and we got so little. So no, I'm out.
Matt, you took the words out of my mouth. That's exactly why I left pissed, man. Because yes, like you said, we got the trailer, we got the preview. It looked like it was copy paste from the comics. People were, sharing it all over Instagram. They're like, "Yo, this is gonna be amazing." Looks like they're going, copy paste of the comics, and they did the total opposite. It's 180. It's like they trolled us and said, "Here, look, we're doing this, but clearly we're not doing this, right?" That's what we got leaving the theater. I just want to shed some light here on Justin Shannon's comment saying, "I loved Ragnarok," and that's what I was saying is I did enjoy Ragnarok. So yes, the one score, definitely I can understand, but that loss was so major for me on Love and Thunder that it's just I don't even want to see it again ever. Like I don't want to see his name. Is what it is, and I rarely talk negatively about things comic related, but I think we're all in agreement that was it was rough. And where is GFS comments about gore? Yes, wrong director for gore and cancer storyline. It was not suited for his taste style, right? I think that is spot on, man, because gore, like you said, especially if they would have copy pasted from the comics what took place in that story, I think it would have been a phenomenal movie. Like you said, grand slam. But it just fell so flat. Zeus was a joke. Like a pure joke, right?
Oh God! Yeah.
I almost don't know how to take Hercules serious after that movie, right?
Oh, you can't. I mean, that's the bottom line. I mean,
exactly. And what he talks about in this article is how the next villain for Thor needs to be stronger and bigger than Hela.
Yeah. Well, that would have been gore. But
exactly.
Fuck that up.
Thank you. But so we're all in agreement here, and a little Zeppelin. And the Zeppelin was probably the best part for me.
The soundtrack, it was good. I mean, but whatever.
Killed it. You can't even give away gore books these days. It's so sad. Yes, Swagahaz is spot on, dude. I watched that book plummet. I think we all did. But I was watching shops selling raw copies over 200 Canadian, easily 300 Canadian. Now I'm seeing raw copies.
9/8, $80. 9/8, $80. That's less than just a random variant on New Comic Book Day, which sells for 90 or 100. I mean, it's crazy. It's crazy. I mean,
it's nuts. But all right, man. So the last big topic. This is something that I saw someone mention in the chat a little earlier, so we'll talk about it now. But Doctor Strange 3 will reportedly adapt the Time Runs Out storyline, and I actually really enjoyed that within comics. So that being said, Time Runs Out was a white knuckle race against the clock where the Avengers tried their best to avoid an incursion between Earth 1610 and Earth 616. The makings of this story were set in place long before it began, and Hickman carefully crafted a narrative told over multiple books that included the need for heroes like Captain America, Reed Richards, and of course Doctor Strange. Ultimately, it was Strange's efforts to work with an unknown group known as the Black Priests, and this is what's been getting some love now already in the secondary market. I see some people going for it to try and stop the incursions that led him to Doctor Doom, who had a plan of his own, and so forth. The incursions, you get where I'm going with all this stuff. Yep. But I think this is awesome because I love it. Okay, I actually Hickman for me, especially in comics right now, I think Hickman's probably one of the best when it comes to creating universes. I think he's crushing it, did a great job. Secret Wars, a lot of people were saying out the gate that now the movie is going to be probably based around that Hickman run. So everything's coming together, right? We saw Clea, Doctor Strange at the end, that post-credit scene where they hop into whatever it was that she splits open, and that's where they head off into.
The
Now,
dark dimension, probably, right?
exactly,
Yeah.
Dark Dimension. Question is, are they going now to visit the Black Priests, right? So there's a lot of speculation surrounding this at the moment, and I think this is cool. If they go with this, I could totally see if Doctor Strange is slated to come out, if I'm not mistaken, right before Secret Wars. It makes perfect sense.
Yeah, they did it in the comics, so that do it in the movies, right? This set
Yeah.
up Secret Wars for Hickman, right? So if you're using that, I mean that makes complete sense. Just some cheap spec, right? So Avengers 35, we know, is kind of the book that took off last week.
Yep.
That book was kind of a double spec because it was Sam Wilson, Captain America, in costume on the first time in cover. So people were buying that. You know, it was like a $10 book, $10 or $15 book because of that. And then all of a sudden it went to like a $30 book, right? Because it's the beginning of that storyline. But I think some better spec for this is what Carla was talking about here, and that's the Black Swans, the Black Priests, and incursions. And how do I get that? How do you get that? You're going to look at New Avengers Volume 3. New Avengers Volume 3, number 1, number 2, and number 5.
Yep.
Those are the 3 books that you want. You get past that storyline. Now you start looking where everybody's not looking yet.
Yes.
Right? Black Priests, Black Swans, and the beginning of the explanation of incursions.
Exactly.
So these are still cheap books. These aren't more than $10, and most you could probably find them for $5 to $7. Even people are jumping on them already a little bit, but only people really who are digging deep into it. 1, 2, and 5. Those are the 3 you should probably look at.
Matt is on the ball because I'll be honest with you. The second the news broke, I hit up an online comic shop, and that was exactly what I picked up, and I picked them all up at $2 a pop, so they're out there. Definitely grab them. It's interesting though, because you mentioned Black Swan, which I love the character. It's actually a very neat character, but we get to the Black Priests. Really, I feel like you really see them in issue 5, right? So 1, 2, 5, that is clearly the trifecta when it comes to speculating on this. Matt, you nailed it on the head. I think this is awesome. Like I said, I'm a huge fan of the Hickman run. When it came to anything Hickman touched, Secret Wars related, the incursions, it all makes sense. And seeing how everything's playing out in the MCU, I'm pumped for this. Buckle up, baby. Let's do this.
What do you think? Does Kang replace Doom in all of this storyline? Because he has a huge part in this. Time's up.
So the thing for me here is that now looking, because a lot of the movies got shuffled, pushed, and so forth, right? Now, original announcements, we saw Fantastic Four slated right before we had the Kang Dynasty and we have Secret Wars, right? So Kang Dynasty taking place, you got Fantastic Four, Kang Dynasty, and then Secret Wars. If Kang Dynasty ends with Kang just, dying or whatever, like that's the end of Kang's story, I think that sucks. I really think Kang should be replacing Doom for this one, in my opinion. But given the timeline of how things are playing out, has Doom been behind this the whole time? And we find out come, let's say, Kang Dynasty.
I think it would be a huge mistake if that's what while we would all love to see Doom sooner than later.
Yeah.
Doom is, and I've shouted this from a soapbox on our channel so many times. You can argue either Doom or Magneto as the most dynamic and depth-driven villains in Marvel. Okay? There's so much rich history to their backstories. There's so many different storylines. There's no other villains like them. They have such depth. So to just bring in Doom as God Emperor Doom, and he's behind Secret Wars, and then, where do you go from there? There's nowhere to go. You can't go backwards.
Nope.
You can't give us Victor.
Nope.
It's literally, you got the ultimate, that's it. He's gone.
Yep.
So that would be a huge mistake to do that. If that was going to happen, we would have had to have Victor, for now, 2 years so that
Yes.
we could start to build up Victor into Doom, into God Emperor Doom. We're not. I mean, if they just come in as that, I'm so pissed, because that is an enormous chip that you're just cashing in for just a small little pop. It would be detrimental to the whole next phase. Like,
Yeah, no, absolutely.
incredibly detrimental.
Yeah. I mean, a side of me does want to see God
Of
Doom
course, of
rip.
course.
I just want to see him rip the skeleton out of Thanos again. Like that would be awesome on screen. But I agree with you 100%. If they just throw all their chips in and that's it, like the phase that follows afterwards, it's gonna hurt unless they're planning on saying, you know what, the next phase, now we've got Fantastic Four. What are we gonna see here? Because apparently, Fantastic Four movie, we're supposed to be seeing Galactus, right? So things happened within the Eternals that may be tied to that. We'll see. Who knows, right?
Sure.
There's things where obviously we're going to get a mutant phase technically, right? Because when the X-Men make their way, maybe we'll focus on other villains. Maybe they'll do Apocalypse way better than we got in the past. Maybe we'll
Sure.
get, you know, Magneto and all that stuff again. But I think it would be devastating to just throw us God Doom so quick and then that's it. And I know you love Doom. I know how you would love to see that, but agreed.
But
with
I'm
you.
willing to forego it to do
Yeah.
it right. You know.
Exactly. Slow
Yeah.
build. Fantastic Four is apparently going to take place within the 60s. So that's the rumors I've seen regarding the movie.
Yep.
So I would like that slow build for Victor. I don't want to see nonsense thrown at us in one shot, man.
Yep.
But that was it, man. That's
Whew.
the show, dude. Not bad. We did what? And I think this is the longest show.
I mean, I was talking a lot tonight. So I haven't been on camera in like 2 months, so I had a lot to say.
I'm so happy you had a lot to say. You dropped a lot of knowledge, a lot of nuggets on these people. A lot of people in the chat. Those of you catching the replay as well, definitely show some love to Matt. The defects are making their way back, and I'm super pumped for that. So, like you heard at the beginning of the show, Matt, you said you guys are going to be dropping some content around Labor Day, right?
Yeah, we picked up. So I'll give you 2 little teases. All right, I'm gonna give 2 teases, exclusive right here. Okay,
Do it.
So, the first video, I don't know if it's gonna be the first video, but the first video that we recorded was me and Jay picking up a new collection, and this new collection had some cool stuff in it. It had some early FF. It had some Golden Age books. We found double cover Silver Age books. Some FF keys. I'll just leave it at that.
Nice.
It was really good. So we're gonna be showing that off. It wasn't a huge collection, but a couple books, talking about the books. That's gonna be our dipping our toe back in, but we have some videos planned. Things are gonna it's gonna be fun. You know, we're gonna have fun with it again and start to bring back the recorded content.
Yeah.
And also we have something planned for New York with Gary.
Oh,
Okay. I don't want to give too much detail. Man, how much can I say?
tread carefully, bro.
I know it's so. I don't know if you've seen what we did at Terrificon.
Yep.
We dropped something at Terrificon.
Oh no. Hold on. What are you referring to?
We dropped an art book, a
There you
Ryan
go,
Brown.
yeah.
Okay. So it's going to be similar. It's going to be something like that. So we have something extremely, extremely special. We
Wow.
thought that was really well received. People really like that. This is even better. This is even better, and you guys are going to love it. That's all I could say. As we get a little, we're not going to hold it back as long as we did. Like, we dropped that one like literally the day before. You'll start to hear about this in the next month and a half, I would say. Probably mid-September, we're going to start showing off what it is and talking about it. And there's a lot of layers to this. It's going to be really cool, and man, I can't wait for you guys to see it. That's all I could say. I just saw some art for what we're doing, and it blew my mind. So I'll just leave it at that.
Dude, I think I know where you're going with this. I won't say more either, but fuck, that's huge, and I'm super pumped. I hope you give me a little scoop afterwards. But
Yeah, there you go.
but speaking scoops, guys, before we head out, I just want to remind everybody, if you're late on the chat, next Sunday we've got Matt DeVoe from Cover Price was going to be hopping on, so it's going to be fun to see Cover Price making the way here to talk some of the books that moved, hot topics, and so forth. And then the following Sunday, September 3rd, I'm away. I'm away. Yes, I'm slacking. I'm sorry, guys, but I'm on vacation, so I've got to take that Sunday off. But I'll be back September 10th with none other than Comics with Bueller, man. So that's going to be a fun show. You know, like I said earlier, he's on vacation. I'm on vacation. Well, vacation. The guy's touring. He's touring all over the place. I don't know if you've been following that, but that's pretty interesting, man. So I'm looking forward to chopping it up with him. Matt, I can't thank you enough, dude. It meant the world that you took the time to come here, shake off some of the rust that you don't even have. I said this to Jay as well. Butcha, you guys were like, yeah, man, it's gonna be fun. Dude, you guys are crushing it. Always been doing such great things within the community. I think I could speak for everybody here in the chat. Pressable defects are absolute pillars. Everybody looks forward to those shows,
Appreciate you,
the
man.
content, and being able to hang out with you tonight meant the world. So, Matt, thank you. Any last words before we head out?
Just thank you and thank everybody in the chat. This was really fun. This was a blast. I haven't been able to talk shop in a while like this. You know, we talk a little bit on whatnot, but yeah, not like this. So this was a lot of fun. Check us out on whatnot Tuesday nights, and then I think Friday, September, whatever the first September Friday is, we're gonna be doing that Defective Collective with Gary. That's always our big whatnot auction. So that's coming up in the next 2 weeks, and that's it. Can't wait to get back to YouTube.
Awesome, man. Looking forward to it. Guys, that was the show. Thank you so much. Enjoy your week. Enjoy Ahsoka football preseason. There was a game tonight. There was a game tonight, but you guys chose to hang out with us. So we appreciate that. So I look forward to seeing you guys next Sunday. Buenas noches, guys. Peace.